Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Aged Out Reacts with the two hosts of the Aged Out podcast, Mike Fantini
Evan Worrell.
and today we're doing a quick little follow-up to what we did in our previous video, that kind of homage to Tom Float in the years they won the Sanford in the 80s. We had so many comments talk about 87, and we knew 87 was a really good year for BD, but they did not win drums, and we'll get into, or Evan will, how that's kind of contentious here in a second, apparently, within the community of drum corps percussion around that time. But we had so many requests for it, we said, you know what, let's do a quick follow-up. We have a really high-quality recording of the 87 show, thanks to RBase 311, Robert Martinez, his amazing treasure trove of a Google Drive he gave us access to. So we've got it fast forwarded to right around where the drum feature is. So we're gonna just watch this 2 minutes of show. They ram a ton of notes, and then we'll just kind of say what we think and enjoy it a little bit. But Evan, do you want to take a second to explain the contention about the 87?
Yeah, I know. I guess I've seen people that were in those lines of those eras just argue back and forth about the cadets winning and stuff. I mean, I went back and looked at the recaps. It seemed like it was pretty clear that cadets won semis, cadets won finals. Maybe the spread was bigger than they thought. Maybe they feel like they didn't deserve to score the guy. I mean, whatever. It's all kind of relative anyway. But I know that in the hunt, it was like cadets, Vanguard. BD didn't really seem like they were in the hunt for the Fred Sanford Trophy that year. They were like third, fourth range both nights. So even sixth in ensemble caption. So, but we'll check it out and watch some of the beats and see what they're throwing down here.
Yep. So there's that for those that weren't aware, but also go check out the podcast, all podcast services, Facebook, Instagram, patreon.com for financial support. And that's pretty much the only short spiel we've got at this point in time. So let's jump into this BD87 show and see what's going on. I do not, for the record, have a lot of exposure to, just like the rest of the 80s stuff we watched. I've not seen a whole lot of 80s Blue Devils.
I mean, I've seen the 87 cadet show multiple times, just iconic for its own reasons. Appalachian Springs is iconic.
Great roll already.
Throwing some flam sauce
Tons
in there.
of flams. I mean, it's damn clean so far.
Woo! Nice.
Nice meter change.
Yeah.
In the middle of that roll. Damn. So much flam vocabulary.
Yeah. Nice. Woo! Chill.
I mean, that was nasty.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll
what
watch a
this
little more,
reminds
but
me
that
of
whole feature was just...
comparatively is like the apples to oranges of I haven't watched all of it in a while, but the 87 cadet show didn't have this much flair to it. Similar to, and maybe Vanguard's probably playing a lot more notes too, but similarly, if you look at 93 and what Star did, Cadet's show was definitely written more to the full ensemble than Star was, compared to 93, when you had Cadets and you had, who was else up there, the Cavaliers that year were just ramming more notes than Star was. This kind of reminds me of that comparison, apples to oranges, of BD playing more notes than Cadets did. Maybe Vanguard was playing a lot more notes than Cadets were too, but I mean, it's really relative. In all the ensembles were great, obviously, because they finished top 3 in the circuit.
Yeah, I mean, we tried to find a good 87 Cadets video to watch right after this BD video, but we couldn't find really any comparable, and we have the same quality full show video as this, but either I'm crazy or there's not a drum feature in the 87 Cadets show. I skimmed like 10-second segments through the entire 11 minutes and didn't see anything. If I'm wrong, somebody let us know, and we can do a future video on 87 cadets too.
They were definitely like just smaller pockets of like, here's a flash of the battery percussion ensemble and front ensemble, not like a just full on feature like this was.
Yeah. So I want to back this up and watch a little bit of that again just to take it in one more time. But overall thoughts initially, like insane amount of flam vocabulary. Rolls that they change meter, like triplet to 16th note or duple to triple or whatever in the middle of it, extremely quickly and well done. Like the double stroke quality, like in some of those fast tight tap 5 figures, just crazy, especially on Mylar, you know.
The energy section is section to just pick up and pass the ball around.
Let's see, it's only a minute and a half. We'll just watch the whole thing one more time. It was good enough.
Dudes had hands, clearly.
Obviously. Didn't Robert Martinez, speaking of that, say, like, they cut some vets from the 86 line for the 87 line? They had so much talent?
Yeah, I think he was saying there were some people from the previous year that did not make this line. And some tidbit about, I think in 87, they had 4 snare drummers audition for I&E in a day when I&E was really pretty prevalent. And 3 of them finished in the top 3, and the 4th one was like an exhibition, so it didn't even get scored.
That's wild. But to point out before we let this keep playing is like the flam figure, the snare line just played, and the quads might have been playing it too, but the camera wasn't on them. I couldn't tell. Just invert flams into tachutas, like back and forth. Just the amount of like whip control that takes in the wrist and hands to just keep that consistent. And you've also, remember, got way less rebound on a Mylar head than you do on today's Kevlar heads. So like
chops for days.
Yeah, it's just nuts.
A lot of just metric changes. Dude, those little quick bursts in the keyboards. Dude, the ensemble timing is pretty strong there.
Front to back is really cool, the interplay.
Woo, that decrescendo.
That was held on to it all the way down.
Dude, the timpani layering through that cello is chef's kiss.
Hear that roll? How long that was underneath that whole horn phrase? Good lord. All right, well, that was just really good. I mean, I've heard a lot. That's really the first time I've ever seen the 87 feature that I can remember, at least. And
same, yeah.
They were... Everything I've heard about this line is true from that small sampling. I would have a hard time believing, though, like, that feature's that good, and like the rest of the more hidden stuff, just like they never worked on. I just thought we'll never believe that. So I'm gonna go ahead and expand this and say the rest of the show was probably really good and clean too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But yeah. So that's it pretty much. We just wanted to do a quick follow up, hit 87 because we had so many requests for it, and like, oh man, you all didn't put 87 in it, so figured why not. We had this recording to watch, so I don't have anything else, Evan, unless you do.
Great. Everybody let us know. Let us know some more of those stories. I love listening or reading through those comments. People just talking about like, oh, this, that, the drums, the switch from Ludwig, Yamaha, this, that. Stuff's very fascinating to me. So
yeah, for sure. Let us know any tidbits about the season. I know we had a bunch of people that I think March Beatty in the 80s comment on the previous video. Keep those coming. Check out the podcast again, all that stuff. Facebook, Instagram, Patreon. But we will see everybody in the next one.
Peace.